So we're going to do a little garden update. Haven't done one for a little while. I planted out some of the seedlings over the last few days, and the brassicas are going in the baths here, but unfortunately I've got more brassica seedlings than I've got space in the baths. I decided this time not to squish them up as much, and the three in the middle of these baths are pretty squished, but they were only tiny, and we'll see how they grow on. So in here we have, what have we got? Broccoli. We like broccoli. In here we have, can't remember, I think it's Savoy cabbage. And I am going to take these 3 lettuces out. We've not done very well with our lettuces. We've either had no tomatoes or we've had tomatoes and no lettuce. So at the moment we've got lettuce and no tomatoes again. So I've got some hanger-offs, and I'll put some more plants in there. Here we had a few onions that I planted out some time back, and I just topped up this bed. And this basil, I've dehydrated some, and I'm debating about doing some more or moving it. I'm not sure if I can do that without disturbing the onions that are in there. So that is this side, and I didn't press go. Oh, I did press go, sorry about that. Bit of a glitch on the old videoing. So this is the last of the kumara, and there is some pumpkin in there as well. There's a couple of smallish pumpkins growing in there. So that's a job to pull all that out and dig up all that kumara. I am not in a rush to do that because it's quite a task. And I've forgotten what this is called, but I think it's good for tomatoes, for bringing in the pollinators. But it seems to have given itself a new home down here. So I think these two, which are in my onion beds, are coming out. They've kind of spread. I did plant one in the edge of that box there. And Chloe's decided that walking through the kumara is quite a good thing to do, which at one time I wouldn't have been happy about that, but as soon as it's coming out soon, that's fine. So here we've got red onions, and they struggled a little bit because the cats didn't help. And I've got some yellow onions here who are doing a little better, got a bit more established. There's nothing in that part of the bed. And here we have spring onions that are doing super well. It's like you're supposed to stay there a bit longer than that. I probably could harvest some of them if I need some spring onions. And we've got red spring onions in this side, and leeks. So the strong healthy ones are leeks. There's a little bit of Julie mowed it with the mower and cat laid on it damage, but I guess they will sort themselves out. And transplanted 3 from the bath into here, so they are getting a little bit squished, because the problem with these beds that are just raised beds off the ground is that my delightful cats, like the onions, look a little bit like it looks a real higgledy-piggledy, and they have, look at that, the dog just ran through. They have cats walking through and sitting on them. The idea is I'm hoping they'll get bigger and then it won't be quite as damaging. So this is the beetroot bed. So I've got various stages of beetroot going on. So we've got some that might be ready for harvesting, although the bulbs, if you can see them down there, are not super big. And then I planted some more, and then I planted some more, and I've got some more in the shade house ready to fill that space. So yesterday I planted out, so we've got, I think this is, we've got spring onions, these guys, and the other is cauliflower. I think I started to plant it. Cauliflower. So the idea here is I've got some brassicas. I needed some space and I got some empty beds, but these beds had heaps of slugs in last season. So the idea is that slugs don't really like onions, so I've planted onions all around. Don't know the brassicas like onions either. So these are my Brussels sprouts, and as you can see, I just kind of shove them in, but there's like, I don't know, half a dozen plants there. I'll need to do something about that. So we've got yellow onions in here as well as the Brussels sprouts. The Brussels sprout plants grow massive. So I have got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 groups in there, but there's more than one plant in each group, so I'll just let them settle a bit and then I'll figure out what to do with the rest, because they can't all stay there. But they were getting too big for their little pots, so it's like I'm going to have a transplant into a bigger pot or just put them here for a while. And I've got these guys, these more, I think these are cauliflowers, and I've got a few more onions. The red onions in my pack didn't do terribly well, so I think what have we got there? We've got more leeks. I like leeks. It's a good job because we've got lots. And then over here we're going to put these carrots. So I've actually had a reasonable success with transplanting carrots, even though they say they don't like it. I haven't had much success with sowing them direct into where they're going to go. So a really tedious job is to take every little carrot out and put it in a new spot very gently and say a prayer over it and tell it to grow. So this whole bed is going to be the carrot bed, and this one at the moment hasn't got anything planned for it, so we'll just see what else. But again, we've had lots of slugs in this area underneath the kumara. This is where the kumara was, and there's probably bits of kumara growing in the ground still. This one is a bed that's got a bit of yellow kumara in, which I'm looking forward to harvesting, and it's the leftover zucchini, so I'm going to pull it out, but not just yet. We've got the odd pepper. We struggled with peppers. We obviously didn't give the peppers the right environment, and a couple of tomato plants in there. I've got some cucumbers coming through, still coming, so I'm going to, hopefully they will get themselves going. So I'm going to leave this bed for a little while. We've got a few. So the cucumber plant has finally decided to do its thing just as the weather gets cold, would you believe? It's about 5 or 6 cucumbers at that stage in here, so we'll just leave it, even though most of everything else is kind of dying off. And yeah, so we've got some cucumbers in there. There's one there, there's one down there. So yeah, I don't know why it suddenly decided I'm going to send out some cucumbers. We've been waiting for them all summer, and then we're going to get like gazillion cucumbers when we've got no other veggies. So that's a quick garden update, and getting ready for winter plantings there. And we've got one tomato plant that I didn't pull out, and lo and behold, it's just popped out some tomatoes and it's popped out some flowers. It's a bit confused about the weather, so they can go with that lettuce that I've got. Love a tomato and lettuce sandwich. So then there's the hens that we've moved into there. So that is the quick garden update. We've got a few more things still coming on in the greenhouse, if you can call it a greenhouse. And we will probably, I will probably put some more. I don't think I need any more onions. I think we might have enough onions. Got a whole swag of peas. Have another serious go at peas. So this is going to be a forest of peas in here, and they're all starting to pop themselves up, climb up this trellis. And yeah, I haven't had a great deal of success with peas, but we will give them all another go and see how they go, how we get on with them this time. So catch you to the next one.